Interest rates have just hit a 21-year high. We haven't seen interest rates like this in a very long time, yet home prices continue to just stay where they're at. We're going to talk about everything you need to know about what's going on in this market, whether you should buy, whether you should sell, and what's happening with these dang interest rates that continue to climb, yet home prices are not dropping like we expect them to. There's a couple of reasons for this, and we're going to cover all that right here in this video. What's going on, you guys? My name is Cody Steck, your favorite Utah realtor. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If this is your first time, I want to welcome you. I make videos about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and play here along the Wasatch Front in northern Utah, and also talk about a lot of real estate here on the channel as well. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate along the way, I want to be your realtor of choice and help you along in that journey. So please reach out to me. My information will be here on the screen. As we jump into this video, like I said, interest rates have just hit a 21-year high. We haven't seen interest rates this high since 2001. This is absolutely crazy to see that interest rates have gotten to this level. Now, if you look on the headlines of what you're seeing on news articles, you're going to see that interest rates are showing somewhere around 7.09%. However, that's not the entire picture to what's actually happening out there. I've had numerous clients just this week who've gotten quotes from lenders, and those lenders are quoting them at anywhere from 7.5% to 8% on the interest rate. So it's actually a 0.5% to almost even 1 full percentage point higher than what you're seeing on the national headlines. Now, that being the case, that means that interest rates are actually almost 2.5 times higher than they were just about a year and a half ago. This interest rate climb has been unprecedented, how quickly it's happened, and also the important part is how unaffected home prices have been because of this. Generally speaking, whenever you see a 1% change in interest rate, you should see roughly a 5 to 10% change in home prices. If interest rates go up by 1%, we should see home prices come down by 5 to 10%. This means that with the interest rate changes that we've seen recently, we should have seen home prices come down anywhere from 30 to 40% to match what those interest rates are. However, that's just simply not the case. In this time, people are just paying extra for that home. They're paying extra to purchase the home and to move into the home and reducing their purchasing power. Rather than going out there and buying an $800,000 home, they're now buying a $600,000 home or $550,000 to have that same exact payment that they were planning on maybe just a year ago. For some people, this still makes sense. For some people, they still need to be in a home because it's just the right time for them and their family. Maybe they want to settle down. Maybe they're not affected by interest rates at all. I work with a lot of people who are cash buyers who are not affected by these rates and are actually taking advantage of these price drops that we've been seeing. Now, that being said, prices have leveled off. We've actually seen prices climb going into the summer. They've leveled off through the summer months here. And as we start to go into fall, we're coming up on the end of August now. As we start to go into September, October, November, I do expect that we'll actually start to see home prices come down. This is for a number of reasons. One, it's going to be the seasonality. Generally speaking, as soon as we start going into the fall months, we start to see home prices fall. And also number two, because interest rates have gone quickly from about 6.5% to now 7.5% or 8% in just the last 4 weeks or so, I do think we're going to start to see the impacts of that. We're going to start to see more homes sit on the market. We're going to start to see more sellers start to hurt, more buyers drop out of the market, and these homes are going to have to go through price drops. If you're interested in this type of data, I'm going to be releasing market updates in September, October, November, basically every single month, showing you exactly what's happening with the market. And I think we're going to see some very impressive data over the next couple of months. Now, if you're a buyer, this might be a good thing. If you're a seller, it might be a good thing, or it could be a bad thing. Whether you're a buyer or seller, there's going to be pros and cons no matter how you look at this. So depending on which side of the aisle you're on, you might be in a position where you're thinking, great, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait for prices to go down because now I can buy. Or maybe you're a buyer who's in a position where you are going to be subject to those interest rates and you're thinking, hey, if interest rates continue to climb, this is going to be bad, right? So just depending on what your situation is, there's going to be pros and cons to everything, but make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notified on those future videos that I release here on the channel talking about those subjects. Now, when it comes to actually talking about why home prices really haven't been affected despite interest rates going from 3.5% to 4.5% to 5.5% to now 7.5% or 8%, the reason why this is happening is for two reasons. Number one, there are still extreme amounts of demand in the market. There's still a lot of people who want to go out there and purchase. There's people who are living with friends, living with family, living with in a rental property, and they want to purchase housing, and they're doing so. They're making that purchase despite interest rates being higher, and that's actually causing the market to stay at an elevated amount. When it comes to the demand, there's a lot of reasons why people want to live here in Utah. We've got great jobs. We've got easy access to the outdoors. We've got low taxes, low traffic, very low crime, good education system. We've got a lot of things really going for us here in Utah, and that's what continues to bring people into the state. So not only is it people who live here locally who are looking to purchase, but it's also people from out of state who want to move into the state because of these things, who are then buying up the housing inventory that we have. Now, the second reason why we're not seeing home prices drop is because simply there's just not enough enough homes on the market to push the prices down. There's not enough competition among sellers. And the reason for that is actually twofold. The first thing I want to talk about is that there's a lot of sellers who don't want to sell, because if they go out there and they sell their home and purchase something new, now they're faced into a situation where they're going to have to go from, let's say, a 3 or 4% interest rate. Now they're looking at 7, 8% interest rates. And that's just absolutely crazy, right? That's going to push their payment up significantly. So unless they absolutely have to make that move, a lot of sellers are deciding to sit on the sidelines, not sell their home, and just make do with what they've got. The second reason is going to be unemployment. As long as unemployment remains low, we're not going to see sellers putting their home on the market and selling their property. If people can continue to make their payments and they're not in a position of financial hardship, they're just simply going to sit on their homes, make their payments, pay the 3 or 4% interest rate that they likely have if they've refinanced or purchased a home anytime in the last 2 to 10 years. And they're basically just going to take advantage of that, right? So as long as unemployment remains low, the market is likely not going to go anywhere. This is my personal opinion on what's happening out there. And unless we see the ultra low unemployment rate here in Utah start to climb, I don't really think home prices are going to fall all that much. Yes, we will see some seasonality. We could see prices come down maybe 5 or 10% going into winter, but we're not talking about 15, 20, 25% unless that unemployment rate climbs substantially. So with that being said, guys, if you're in the market looking to make a purchase, I don't generally say this here on the channel, but if you're looking to make a purchase, now I don't typically say this on the channel, but I'm going to say it right now. If you're looking at purchasing a home, I would wait. I would wait a couple of months. I believe in the spirit of honesty and transparency about the market. And right now, the market is in a very tough space. If you're in a position where you don't have to make a move, you don't have to get into housing right now, I'd probably wait at least a month or two to see what happens to the market, see what happens to interest rates, and see if those higher rates start to push the market down, as well as that seasonality. I think there's a high likelihood we could see prices drop 2, 3, 4, 5% in just the next couple of months due to these higher interest rates, as well as due to the seasonality that we're about to experience. So if you're in a position where you don't have to make a move right now, maybe it's just not the right time, or you have the flexibility, I would absolutely wait 1, 2, 3 months. Now, if you're a seller in this market, I would recommend getting your home on the market as soon as possible. We're going to start to see prices decline. It might only be a couple of percentage points, but if you're in a position where you're thinking, hey, I need to sell my home, should I do it right now or should I do it in 2 months? I would absolutely say do it sooner than later, because it's going to work in your advantage. So with that said, guys, I want to help you make the best decision for you and your family and your financial bottom line. I want to be the resource of choice for you when it comes to buying or selling real estate. For some of you out there, it might just make sense that you need to purchase right now. For others, it might make sense to wait. I want to be on your side when that time does come, whether that's now, in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. I don't care. I just want to be there for you. So make sure to reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime. I absolutely love hearing from you guys, and I cannot wait to hear from you. Now, I have one last thing to say that kind of contradicts all of this video. Now, if you made it this far into the video, you're getting the very important part that's going to come into play in the next couple of months. If and only if interest rates come down, let's say they come down 0.5% to a full 1%, I think all of this that I just said goes completely out the window. I think the demand will pick back up. I think people will jump into the market, and that's going to actually keep prices where they're at, or could potentially even cause them to keep climbing. Now, I think there's probably about a 50-50 chance of that actually happening. I think rates could stay where they're at. Of course, they could climb higher, or we could see them come down 0.5% to a full percent in just a short amount of time. I mean, they went up almost a whole percentage point in just a couple of weeks, and it could easily go the other direction in the next couple of weeks. If that happens, all of this stuff that I just said goes out the door. And I do think that we'll see demand start to come back into the market. We'll see buyers who were saying, right now they're saying, oh crap, interest rates are at 7.5 or 8%. Now they're down to 6.5. Now's my time. Now's when I want to jump into the market and take advantage of this. And that's going to actually keep prices where they're at. So there's a lot of moving parts with this. Like I said, it really depends on your individual situation, whether it makes sense to buy now, sell now, or wait for either one of those options. So reach out to me. I'd love to be a resource of choice for you. I'll give you my honest opinion on what you should do. Call, text, or email anytime. I love hearing from you guys. And with that said, we'll catch you in the next one.